Okay, are we recording? I think we're recording. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you read the title of this video, you know that today I'm going to be telling you guys what books I read in August and the books I hope to read in September. August was not a good reading month for me, I'll be honest, but I was busy with packing for school, moving into school, polish week, starting classes. You know, a lot of stuff happened this month, so I'm not going to judge myself too harshly. I read 1, 2, 3, 4. I've read 4 books this month, and I'm reading one right now. I have several books I need to read in September. So let's just go ahead and show you guys what I read this month. I have this little journal where I write down all the books I read so I can keep track of it by like month and whatever. So yeah, my cool little journal. So when I look back at the end of the years, I can see what I've read each month, which is kind of cool. I like the idea. Anyways, the first book I read this month was City of Brass by S.A. Trebarky. I sincerely apologize. I don't know how to say her name. But anyways, this is the book, City of Brass. I don't have it with me because I left it at home. This book is a Middle Eastern fantasy, which if you don't know, I absolutely love Middle Eastern fantasies. I love like the dingy and genies and all that stuff. I love it. So this is a fantasy book that kind of takes place in the real world in like 17th or 16th century Egypt, I think is when it starts. And this girl is like messing around pretending to do like a little ritual thing, and she accidentally calls down a dingy, and he kind of like takes her to the magical world that's hidden in the real world, and she finds that she is like the last of the healers left in the universe. And it's, I don't know, it was good. I gave it 3 stars on Goodreads. It was decent. If you want a fun Middle Eastern fantasy, I recommend this. Not the best I've read, but it was enjoyable. So the second book I read is The Book of Speculation by Erica Sawyer. This book I picked up in like, what year is it? It was like, okay, I guess it was 2019. There was no way it was only 2019. I guess it was, but I got this at ThesCon, my senior year of high school, and I went to a local bookstore and I'd seen this book everywhere, and I asked the bookseller what he would recommend, and he said this book. It is about a family who has origins in the circus, and there's like a mystery revolving around the woman in the family. All the women, they're like mermaids in the circus, but somehow they drown, and they drown the same day every year. Not every year, but every time they drown, it's on the same day. It's always like July or June 24th or something like that. So in modern times, the young man of the family is trying to figure out the mystery behind this. Why are all these women dying at the same time? What's my family history? It's just kind of a family story with like magical elements. It's like magical realism and circusy stuff. So if you're interested in that, I recommend this book. I gave this book 3 stars on Goodreads as well. It kind of took me a long time to get through it. It was pretty slow at first, but when it started picking up, I started getting more interested. But I also was reading this at the time that I was moving into school and during polish week, so I didn't really have the attention to give it that I think it needed. But it was okay. It was decent. Not going to be one of my favorite books of all time, but I did read it. Finally, after owning it for like over a year, I finally got around to it, so progress on my TBR. The 4th book I read this month was Titus Andronicus by Shakespeare. No, this is not a singular play. This is like almost all of Shakespeare's plays, if not all of them, in one bind-up. This is actually a textbook I have for my Shakespeare class. Yeah, it's a hefty book. There's a lot of plays in here. So Titus Andronicus was actually really good. If you don't know this about me, I have a hatred for Shakespeare. Like, I have always hated Shakespeare. Ever since like freshman year of high school, Shakespeare has gotten on my nerves. I never wanted to read Shakespeare. He annoyed the heck out of me. So when I found out I had to take a Shakespeare class for my major, I was like, great, kill me. However, it has not been bad, and Titus Andronicus was actually really, really good. So I have high hopes for the future. Maybe my hatred for Shakespeare is like going away. Maybe we can learn to have like a mutual, like, not necessarily like each other, and not maybe like a mutual respect. Like, okay, I see you, Shakespeare. I see you making these plays. Like, maybe we can have a relationship. Anyways, Titus Andronicus is Shakespeare's bloodiest play. I think it might be his first tragedy. I probably should know that. We definitely talked about it in class, but I can't remember. But Titus Andronicus, a lot of people die. It takes place in the Roman Empire. I don't really know what to tell you. Besides that, it's an old Shakespeare play. So that was actually a pleasant surprise, and I'm hoping that I'll enjoy the rest of them. And the final book I've read this month was Eligible by Curtis Sittenfeld. Ooh, excuse me, I have hiccups. Oh, there we go. I think I'm good. So, anyways, Eligible. If you saw my book shopping vlog, you saw that I picked this book up at 2nd and Charles right before I left for school. I'm so glad I did. It was so much fun. I absolutely adore Pride and Prejudice. I watched the movie like 2 nights ago, I guess, because I just finished this book and I was like craving the movie. So good. So, let me back up. I'm getting ahead of myself. If you didn't watch my book shopping vlog, Eligible is a modern retelling of Pride and Prejudice. It takes place in Cincinnati. Jane and Liz are getting close to their 40s. They're kind of stressed about like where they are in their life. Are they going to get married? It's just the Bennets and Mr. Darcy and Chip Bingley set in modern day. It was really good. I highly recommend this book if you want a fast-paced, like kind of cheesy read. It's not like cheesy, but it's kind of cheesy, you know. If you enjoy Pride and Prejudice, I recommend this book. I think I gave this book 4 stars on Goodreads. Like I said, highly enjoyable. It was a great book to start reading like my first week of class because it didn't require too much brain power, and the chapters are super short. Like, let me show you. Like, see how the chapters are really short like this? That makes it so easy to fly through because a lot of times I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna finish this chapter, go to bed. But when the chapter is 1 page, I'm like, well, that's not enough. So I'll read like 20 chapters before I'm like, okay, time to go to bed. But yes, anyways, modern retelling of Pride and Prejudice, really, really good. I think there's like this project that this book was a part of called like the Jane Austen Project, where a bunch of different authors retell her stories in modern day. So I want to look out for the other ones. I can't even recall which books they did or who wrote them. But if I'll look it up and I'll put it in the description down below because I definitely want to read the rest of the Jane Austen Project because this was so fun. Okay. Those are all the books that I've managed to read in August. Yeah, that was only 4, but that's better than I did in like January and February. I read like 1 or 2 books those months, so, you know, not too bad. I am currently reading a book, let me show you. I'm currently reading All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. I apologize for everyone's name that I can't pronounce because I'm awful at this. Anyways, so me and a couple of my friends are doing a little book club. I'm so happy they invited me to be part of their book club. I'm so excited. This is the first book I'm reading with them. It is a World War II novel following 2 perspectives. Our first perspective is a young girl from France who is blind, and the second perspective is a young boy who is from Germany and ends up in the Hitler Youth Program and ends up in like the Nazi army. And I don't really know how their stories converge yet because I'm only like this much through. But so far, I'm really, really enjoying it. It's really good. I think it was published in like 2017 or something, because I remember seeing it when it came out and being like, I want to read this. Oh, it was 2014. Wow, so this has been out for like 6 years now. I'm sure a lot of people have read it. If you've read this and you loved it, leave a comment down below. So I'm hoping to finish this book relatively soon. I don't know how long it'll take me, not that long probably, but I'll definitely have this in my September wrap-up. So going on from here, let's see what books I need to read in September because I feel like I have high hopes for September and I know that I'm not going to get to all of these books, but I would like to. So this is the first book that I need to finish in September. The next book I have to finish in September is another Shakespeare play for my Shakespeare class, and that is The Merchant of Venice. I have absolutely no idea what that play is about. I really don't know. It's Shakespeare and I'm assuming it takes place in Venice. But I have to have that read for class and that'll take probably like a day to read, so that's no biggie. Another book I have to read for one of my classes is The Family Fang by Kevin Wilson. This is for my INT class. If you don't go to Mercer and don't know what INT is, It's basically like a general class everyone has to take. I really don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like a literature course. Anyways, we have to read this book. This book was actually turned into a movie, and I think if I'm correct, like Christopher Walken was in it. Don't quote me on that, I'm not sure, but this book, what is it even about? I think it's about like a family of performance artists, and the kids are like involved in their parents' like crazy performances, which is like not real like acting performances. It's like they go to places and do like crazy stunts and like weird things and see how people react. And so I think it follows like the kids when they're a little older, reflecting on how that changed their life because their parents were weird. I don't really know. I don't really read descriptions of books because I just don't. Whatever. I have to read this for class. I'll let you know if it's good next month. The next book that I really want to read in September is this book, which I also got in my Second and Charles book haul from my book shopping blog. This is Laura Lamont's Life in Pictures by Emma Straub. This is the book about a girl in Hollywood, I think during the 1930s. I really, really want to get to this book. I can't wait to read it, so I really hope that I get to read it next month. Fingers crossed I can get to it. Now, there's 2 books coming out September 1st. 2 very important books to me. The first, we have Majesty, which is the sequel to the book American Royals. I loved American Royals. It's a fantasy book, kind of. American Royals is a book about what if America had a monarchy, and it follows this pretend monarchy of America. It follows like the royal kids of America. Anyways, it's great. It's basically like watching an episode of a reality TV show. Fantastic, great guilty pleasure. Like it reads just like a TV show. It's awesome. Anyways, I can't wait for book 2 because it was so much fun. I love that book. I love it so much. I talk about it in my mid-year book freakout tag. If you want to watch that, link it right there. But yeah, so I can't wait for Majesty. This comes out September 1st. I already pre-ordered it, so it should come in the mail that day. But here's my dilemma. Okay, here's the other book that comes out September 1st. The Lost Book of White by Cassandra Clare. I'll be honest, I have not pre-ordered this one yet because it's like $20 to pre-order on Amazon, like $25 to pre-order from Barnes & Noble. And if I'm being completely honest, I'm broke, I'm poor, and I don't really need to spend like $20 on this book. But I want to, but I'm stopping myself because I already spent money on the other one. So I'm like, I don't know. I'm probably going to end up ordering it or going to the store and getting it because I have absolutely no self-control. If you don't know what this book is, it's a Cassandra Clare book, Shadowhunter Chronicles. I don't know where you've been living if you haven't heard of these books yet. Magic, fighting demons. This follows our characters Magnus and Alec. That's really all I can tell you because everything else is going to be spoilers to the rest of the books. But anyways, I read the first book in this series, I can't remember, like Red Scrolls of Magic, I think is the name. So I read that book, I enjoyed it, but I'll be honest, I didn't love it. I feel like in this series, Cassandra Clare is kind of just like grasping at straws for stories. Not gonna lie, I will read it eventually because I'm trash for Cassandra Clare. However, I recognize that like it's really not that great. It's not the best quality. I don't know. We'll see when I get to it. If I go pick it up at the store, I will let you guys know. Stay tuned. Next month you'll see if I have it, if I've read it. We'll see. We'll catch up with each other. Let's chat for a second about Cassandra Clare because I can't decide if she needs to stop or if she needs to keep going because I feel like with the Red Scrolls of Magic, those aren't really needed. I feel like those are kind of just like lacking. They're not like as fleshed out. They're not as great. And so I feel like those are just kind of going downhill. However, her Last Hour series, fantastic. So good. Chain of Gold was absolutely amazing. I can't wait for the rest in that series. So I think that series is high quality. That's good. Keep going on with those. But I feel like this other one, it's just kind of like, eh. Let me know down below your thoughts in the comments. Like, do you agree with me? Do you think that she should just kind of leave those characters alone? Like, I feel like we've kind of done everything with them. She's kind of going like in the same direction Rick Riordan's going. I'll be honest, I have stopped reading the Rick Riordan books. Come for me. I know I'm a huge Percy Jackson fan. Percy Jackson's like my life. But I stopped reading after the second or third Trials of Apollo book. I stopped reading when, I don't want to give spoilers, but the one where like Grover's in that one. Is that like the Burning Maze? I don't even know. I don't even like the Apollo books, to be honest, so I don't really care. But I haven't read any more after that. I've kind of stopped with those. So I feel like Cassandra Clare's kind of going that route where Rick Riordan's hit where it's like, okay, enough. Like, I love your writing, but maybe you should do something different. That's why I think like Chain of Gold is good because it gives us new characters. But just still going with Magnus and Alec, I feel like it's just a little much. I think we can stop. Okay, anyways, I've kind of gone off on a tangent here. Those are the books I've read in August and the books I hope to read in September. As always, if you have any book recommendations, please leave them down below. I love to hear from you guys. Let me know what you read in August, what your favorite book was this month, what books you hope to read next month. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up so I know to make more like these. I would love to do monthly wrap-ups. If you guys are interested, don't forget to also hit that subscribe button and turn on your post notifications so you can get alerted when I make videos. I'm trying to stick to a schedule and upload every Sunday. We're gonna see how that works. I've got videos planned. I really can't wait to do a dorm tour. As you see, I'm in my dorm filming in front of my bed. Let me tell you guys, setting up in a dorm room to film, it's hard. It's difficult. Like, there's not much space here. I've had to rearrange some things. Okay, thanks for watching, you guys. I'll see you next week. Bye!